Hello lovely humans. I have been promising for quite some time that I would film some classes for you all, and I have made every excuse under the sun, so I thought I would just start. I don't have a mic or anything, so apologies for any sounds in the room, the dishwasher, if it's echoey, anything like that. But I thought it would be nice to bring you along for a little hips and hamstrings opener this morning. I'm feeling quite tight and sore, and I thought that would be a good place to start if you're feeling that as well. Just something really gentle, just comfy clothes, no effort class. You don't need props. Use them definitely if you wish, but it's not necessary. Find any space you can in your home. And yeah, if you like these smaller classes, I know when I started practicing I didn't really want to commit to like a 60-minute class, and it was really difficult to find, a 20 to 30 minute, just nice little chill video. So here it is. If you like this style of class or you find benefit from it, please let me know and I will film more shorter classes, just something nice and easy. I'll throw some strength classes in there too at some point. But yeah, I'm not hyper flexible. I love my practice, but I've always found it really refreshing to practice with bodies that aren't, real stretchy, and makes it more attainable for the rest of us. Anyway, here we go. So just starting on your back this morning, on your mat, on your floor, whatever it is supporting you. Laying back down, maybe you find the only spot of sun in the house like I have. Stretch out nice and long, pointing the toes, and allow the arms to extend overhead for a deep morning stretch. And then when you're ready, we'll start with a little side opener, allowing the right heel, or left rather, to the left bottom corner of the mat, maybe shuffling the hips slightly over to the right, and then stacking the right knee over left or right ankle. Mixing all my words up this morning, allowing the right fingertips to point over to the left side of the mat, and we're going to take hold of our right wrist with our middle finger and thumb. We're only guiding the arm overhead in this asana. No pulling, no pinching in the elbow, shoulder joint, and understanding the difference between some discomfort and pain, and always moving out of pain. A really nice gentle stretch all the way down the right side body, just waking us up. If you feel you can move deeper into any asana, please go ahead, or if you feel you need less, just really practice becoming nice and intuitive with our body. And now, untangling yourself, stretch out nice and long before moving to the other side. So right ankle, right bottom corner of the mat, maybe shuffling the hips over to the left. Stacking the ankles, and this time the left arm reaches overhead. Fingertips are reaching for the right top corner of the mat, and our right middle finger and thumb guiding the wrist, the arm overhead. A deep, lovely stretch in the whole left side body now. One side might show up completely differently to the other, that is common. Becoming the observer here, not attaching to any thoughts, just allowing the practice. Returning to neutral. Pointing the toes once again, stretching the arms overhead in a deep morning stretch. Inhaling, exhaling, and then inhaling, bending the right knee, taking a hold of that shin and allowing the right knee to come to the right side ribs. My hamstrings are talking to me this morning. So once again, just remembering to stay really intuitive, allowing however your body shows up. Exhale, extending the right leg. Inhale, bending the left knee this time. Hugging it in. Making a conscious effort to keep the low back in contact with the mat, the shoulders in contact with the mat. Exhale, extend the left leg, and inhale, turn the core on to hug both knees in, pointing the toes. Holding opposite elbows if it's available to you, or maybe it's just the wrist you're gripping today. Wherever you are, once again, trying to keep the low back in contact with the mat. This just protects our back. A slight tuck of the chin. And then allowing the soles of the feet to come to the edges of your mat. Take a graze with your fingertips for the backs of the heels. Arms can rest down beside your glutes or maybe into a T if that's more comfortable. And then just allowing some windscreen wipers, knees fall side to side. When our quads and our glutes, everything is really tight, sometimes our lower back can try and step up to support us. And this just is a really nice way to allow that release. If there are any sticky spots that you would like to spend some more time in, please do. And then simply moving over to one side, keeping the gaze with eyes closed, if that's comfortable, or maybe a soft gaze at the tip of the nose, and then pushing yourself up to a seat before coming onto all fours in our tabletop position. Before moving into some more of our dynamic stretches for our glutes, hamstrings, we're just going to take a couple cat-cows. So making sure all 4 points of the hands are in contact with the mat, shoulder stacks over wrist. Turn the core on here and inhale, allowing the tailbone to lead, bringing our chest through our shoulders. Exhale, reverse that, coming into our cat. Inhale. And exhale. Then returning to neutral, we're going to push through the palms to lift us up in maybe our first down dog. Pedal out the feet for a moment. Inhaling, right leg up towards the ceiling, bending the knee and allow that heel to come towards your left glute. Push the mat away and try and make the effort to keep the shoulders in line with one another. Extending that right leg and then bringing the knee to the nose as slow as you can, stepping through. Take a moment to warm up here, maybe moving forward and back. Before dropping that left knee, untuck the back toes. And before you sink into this stretch, just take a look over your left shoulder, making sure that the left toes are in line with your calf, making sure there's no sickle there. This protects our knee joint. And then we're going to take the palms to the top of the calf, sink the hips down, release, inhale up, turn the glute on, the left glute, exhale, release. See how tensing and releasing the glute makes a difference in our left hip flexor. And then when you're ready, exhaling, sit the hips back, coming into our half split, into our low lunge, and moving dynamically between the two. These dynamic movements can be really beneficial if you're trying to open up. If we take a static hold, the muscle can often, or the bigger muscles rather, can often hold on. And then when you're ready, walking the right foot over to the edge of our mat, coming into our lizard. Maybe moving side to side. Maybe you allow the fingertips to move towards our left knee, getting a stretch in that forearm and wrist. Or maybe you come down onto the forearms. My hips aren't quite warmed up yet, so I'm going to stay on the palms just a little longer. Inhale, if the fingers are reversed, returning them to neutral. Tuck the back toe, lift up from the mat, and then coming into your three-legged dog. Just for a moment to release that leg. Inhale the left leg up this time. Oh, no. We're going to take that hip stretch first. So the left knee bends, left heel to right glute this time. And then extending the left leg, bending the knee to nose, stepping the foot in between the hands if that's possible, or just shuffling it there. And then again, working into this asana slightly. Maybe lifting the knee, getting into that right hip before dropping the back knee. Taking a peek over your right shoulder this time, making sure there's no sickle in that back foot. Toes are in line with the calf, protecting our knee joint. And then coming up, resting the hands on that thigh, if that's comfortable. We're not pushing down, we're not putting any pressure here. We're just resting the hands. Inhale, turning on the right glute this time. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. And then on the next inhale, lifting up the left toes, coming into our half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Taking the inhale and exhale on whichever you prefer. Maybe you prefer the exhale when you move into your low lunge. Whatever it is you need, we're becoming the observer. And then returning the sole of the left foot to the mat. Walking the foot out into our lizard on this side. Maybe you like that forearm and wrist stretch. Swaying side to side, maybe coming down onto the forearms if you're warmed up already. Maybe coming down onto a block or books. It's all lovely. And then returning the fingers forward if you did reverse that. Inhale, push the mat away, tuck the back toes, come up into your three-legged dog, shaking that out, and then returning that foot to the mat. Take a moment in your downward dog to really notice if you've made any extra room. And then peeking at the top of your mat, we're going to tiptoe to the front. So as slow as you can. You might need to bend the knees a little. You might need to bend them a lot. We want to try and get this stomach-thigh connection going on. Socks can be really beneficial here, sliding along your mat. And then when you arrive, taking a bend in the knees if you like. Leading from this hip joint. So we want to allow the stomach to touch the thighs first and then work the rest of the body down. Maybe arms hang. Maybe we take hold of opposite elbows. Maybe pedaling out the legs in this position. Then we're going to take the left hand to the mat, maybe on the fingertips, maybe flat. We're going to bend the left knee quite a lot and keep the right leg straight. Inhale the right arm up overhead. If that's comfortable for your neck, maybe taking a peek up to your right fingertips. Working into that right hamstring here. The side body. Exhale, right hand comes down, right knee bends, left leg straightens, left arm overhead, maybe taking a peek at the fingertips on your left arm this time. One more time each side. Exhaling, left hand comes to the mat, left knee bends, right leg straight. Exhaling down. See if you've gained any more space. Exhale, both hands come to the mat. Coming into your forward fold again. Taking Padangusthasana, which is a fingertip peace grip around the big toe. I do have socks on today. So even just popping the fingertips under the big toes. Inhale with a flat back. You're coming into your halfway lift. And then exhale, the elbows move out to the side, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Repeat that if you like, or maybe moving into Padangusthasana now. So backs of the hands come to rest on the mat. Lift up onto your heels and sliding the hands underneath so the toes are massaging the wrist crease. And then when we arrive here, you might need to bend the knees quite a lot. Eye of the elbows face the front of the room. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward, getting a nice stretch in your wrists. Inhale, halfway lift, release that, and then step back into your downward facing dog before allowing the knees to come down to the mat. Taking a couple more cat-cows with your own breath. And working into the fascia now. So we have fascia that runs all up our back body. If you've ever been to one of my classes, you'll know that this is just my favorite way to open up the entire body. So it works really well by rolling out the feet if you have a tennis ball or something like that. But if you don't, simply tucking the toes and coming to sit on the heels will do great amounts for you. This can often be a lot for people if you've never done this before, but again, we do have fascia running all the way up our back body, so it really starts to open up all those tight areas and will transform your practice. So give it a go. If it's entirely too much today, maybe leaning forward slightly on the hands. Otherwise, sitting back, we're going to inhale the right arm up, overhead, left hand comes to the mat, taking a side body stretch. This can also cause or help with a bit of a distraction while we're opening up the feet. Exhale, allowing the right fingertips to come over to the left, and then simply switching sides, left arm overhead, exhale to the mat, inhale right overhead, exhale to the mat, left overhead, and down to the mat. Come back to sit up on your heels. Inhale these shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale them down your back body. Opening up the palms towards the ceiling. We won't be here for too much longer. So just be the observer once again. See how that feels. Notice what comes up for you. If you have thoughts and feelings of really wanting to get out, see if you can challenge yourself. Build those muscles. Build that resistance. Beautiful work. Untucking the toes. Come to sit on your heels and just taking a counter stretch here. So palms come behind our glutes facing the front of the room or mat. And then we're just going to simply sit back, stretching out the tops of our feet. Taking a counter stretch there. If you want to turn on the core a little bit, extending the arms out front. Maybe closing down the eyes for a balance element. And then exhale. Untucking the feet. Maybe take a little release, patting them down on the mat. Coming down into our 90-90. So left shin is in line with the short edge of the mat. Left thigh with the long edge. And then our right thigh with the short edge, right shin with the long edge. We're going to inhale and come up as much as we can. Again, if you're feeling quite tight in the hip or even the side body, you might be quite leaned over. I am a little bit today, that's okay. Wherever you're at, just give this a go to bring your body up as straight as possible. And then we want to imagine drawing our left knee back and our right knee forward, so they're not actually moving, they're ground into the mat, but we're trying to get them to draw to each other. This just stacks our body correctly. And once you arrive, exhale, leaning over that front shin, maybe hooking the forearm and elbow into the left heel. And maybe coming down to rest your forehead, maybe staying up on the forearms. You should feel a really nice stretch in your left hamstring, outer hip, maybe in the right hip a little bit. Keep working towards getting your chest parallel to the front of the mat, reaching forward. Couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, inhaling up, and we're simply switching over the legs. So this time the right shin parallel with the short edge of the mat, the right thigh with the long, the left shin with the long, and the left thigh with the short. If one side is quite a lot tighter or you do have injury, I have quite a few injuries on my right knee. So this side's often a lot more intense, but do the best you can to stack the body over your hips. And then when you arrive, the right knee moves backwards, the left forwards, as if we're drawing them energetically towards one another. And then folding forward over that right leg. Maybe the forehead comes to rest, maybe it doesn't. Both are perfectly adequate. And breathe. Couple more breaths here. Allowing the body to melt. And then inhaling, coming up to seat, bringing the feet to touch, the knees out wide, moving the meaty part of our glutes out of the way, maybe taking a hold of the feet, and we're just going to butterfly the legs. We're going to move them up and down to allow even more space into those hips. If your knees are quite high off the ground, again, I know mine are today, it's all lovely. If it's really uncomfortable for you, maybe stacking a block of books or blankets, anything under the glutes will give you a bit more room here. Then when you're ready, inhale with a flat back, lift up, and then exhale, move forward over your feet. Inhale up, exhale, allowing the feet to come into a straddle. Once again, I'm just moving the meaty part of my glutes out of the way, and then I'm going to point the toes, maybe tucking the hands under my calves. I find this helps just to get a little more room and protect the knees by allowing a small bend in the knees. Inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, forward slightly, and then we're going to take some pulses, so either leaving the hands where they are if that's comfortable, or maybe you just reach the arms forward. Inhale, exhale, pulsing. Maybe clasping the hands behind, so we're not pulling our neck down, we're just allowing the body to pulse forward. Continuously creating some room. Inhale, bringing the feet together. Flexing the feet this time. Inhale up nice and tall. Taking hold either of the outside of the feet, of the toes. Maybe we go under the calves today. Maybe even the thighs, that's all good. Again, just like in our forward fold, we want to imagine this movement coming from the stomach to the top of the thigh first, and then making our way down to our feet. So don't pull on your feet if it means a lot of rounding. If you're able to take hold of your feet, still moving with an open chest, so our stomach is firstly touching the tops of our thighs. If you're not here, again, just here, it's still the same motion. So we want a nice open chest. We're not rounding. That just puts a lot of stress on our backs, and we don't want that. So be really kind and gentle here. Just a couple breaths wherever you're at. coming up. And now turning on the core, stretch out the arms. Slowly coming back to where we started. And just before we rest in our Savasana today, we will end with a twist. So if you have a favorite twist, please go ahead and take it. But if you're still wanting to work in the legs, give this a go. So inhale, bending the right knee. We're going to take hold of the inside of the right foot. Right arm rather, reaches out to a T. And we're going to stretch that leg right across our bodies. Shoulder blades are in contact with the mat. Taking a peek over your right arm, only if it's comfortable for your neck. Practice really deep belly breathing when you're in these twists. And see how much more opens up for you. So imagine like a toddler would breathe. The belly gets nice and full. A few more breaths. Inhaling, allow the neck to return to neutral first. Bending that knee, extending to a neutral spine before moving into the other side. And just pause for a moment in the middle. See if you feel any difference there. And when you're ready, whatever variation you took on the other side, or if you'd like to go here, we're bending the left knee in, taking a hold of the inside of the left foot. Left arm stretches out nice and long. And we might need to shuffle the shoulder blades over a little bit. And then only if it's okay for your neck, taking a peek over your left shoulder. Taking those deep belly breaths once again. Two more deep breaths. And then staying here a bit longer if you'd like, or releasing that down to the mat, coming into your Savasana. This is the end of our short but sweet class. If you have some time for a Savasana, please make sure to take it. Again, sorry about any sound quality. I really just want to make really real videos. So not getting dressed up, being in our trackies covered in cat hair. It's all lovely. If you did enjoy this little bit of yoga to start your day, please let me know and let me know what you're interested in next. Thank you.